Into the abyss our unsuspecting, innocent bystander goes. Because in the darkness are the answers she seeks. Risking her safety, her sanity, her health, even her very life, she knew there was more at stake than her own life. Greek. No. Greek. Back off, or you'll regret it. Greek. Someone help me. Da-da-da-da-da. Rhinestone hamster, it's you! But how? You should be congratulated for your enthusiasm and courage, but it wouldn't amount to anything if you died before succeeding. No one likes a martyr. Greek. Not this time. What am I doing? Rhinestone would never ballet down the hallway towards the danger. She'd charge into the danger. Yeah! You don't scare me. No, that sounds like I was threatened, instead of me standing up for someone else. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. That's better. Where's the kitchen? All of Rhinestone's final battles or the height of the story happens in the kitchen. Where is the kitchen? Focus. Kitchens have a sink, lots of cupboards, an oven, a stove. Here it is. Oh no! How long has that oven been leaking gas? There's an elaborate device connected to the oven to light a fuse, and that will react to the gas and make this place explode! Will our hero escape in time and save the eager, innocent bystander? But that door's locked. Who's opening it?
What are you doing here? How did you get in?
I used the key to get in.
Give me the key and that flashlight! Do you know how old that house is? It's decrepit and falling apart. You could have fallen to the floor and ripped one of your wings in the process, and you wouldn't be able to fly again.
You don't have to yell.
You're bloody damn right I have to yell!
Thanks, Heath.
The heck? He just leaves the front door open?
I see why. Let's land in the backyard. Will they go through the front door? I didn't lock it. Maybe they'll be in the backyard. He probably doesn't have his keys with him. Nothing else to do but lock the front door and chill in my studio. You waited until now to cry? Why not? If I started crying while I flew, I wouldn't be able to see, and then I'd start to fall. Anyway, Mom didn't have to yell. I heard her before when she told me I shouldn't be in that house ever. And yet you were in that house all alone just now. I was. Let me see your wings. That one is okay. And so is that one. Batham, do you need a hug? You feel a little better? Yes. Phew. Your mother drinks water every time she starts choking. That sounds like a bad idea because if you're choking, your throat's closing up and you can't drink anyway. Wouldn't you choke more? Strangely, no. Besides, water's good for you, so drinking water helps you to open your throat and think of something else. I wish Mom was thinking of something else instead of yelling at me. Batham, were you in the house because you were bored and you wanted to have some fun? Yes, what of it? I've had my own problems making friends and having someone to play with. I wouldn't be bored if I had an iPad, though. Grace and I are worried that if we give you an iPad, you'd be using it all day, instead of stretching your wings and having fun. But you're the only one I know who has wings, and I can't fly with you all the time. Sometimes you're busy. I don't want us to move to the flying cities. How come? I'd have lots of other people to fly with. You think it's bad when your mother yells at you? The vast majority of people in those flying cities are snobs. They're mean to each other, their own kind. People who have wings. It's ridiculous. That's sad, but I'm afraid to make friends in this city. Why? What if they're jealous of me because I can fly, and they use that jealousy as an excuse to not play with me? That might happen, although you might find someone who's into comics just like you. What's the comic you're always reading? Rhinestone Hamster Outlaw! What's it about again? A chef? Ms. Rhinestoneham. She aspires to be a great chef, but something always happens to stop her from achieving her dreams. What happens? A restaurant blows up, or a competitor goes missing, or something terrible happens to the delivery people bringing stuff to grocery stores. Rhinestone usually saves the day, right? She saves the day by becoming a chemist, a detective. She even goes against the law. Yikes. Why are you asking me about my favorite comic? I was thinking of taking you to the Comic-Con this year. What's a Comic-Con? It's slang for comic book convention. It's where lots of people who like comics gather together and socialize with each other and talk about their favorite comics. Maybe there you can find someone who likes Rhinestone as much as you do. Also, the people who make the comics are there to meet their fans in person. I could meet Salvo? Is that who makes the Rhinestone comics? She writes and draws the comics, just like Mom. Wait a minute. Wouldn't Mom go to the Comic-Con because she's a comic writer and artist too? I don't know if she's going to the one this year. To meet her fans. Why? You and Mom keep telling me not to read her comics because they're for adults. If she goes to the Comic-Con to show off her adult comics, and more kids than me are there, then lots of other kids could find her comics, and she would be in trouble. I haven't thought of that, but she probably has, and knows how to keep her comics away from kids. Dad, did Mom want to make comics ever since she was a kid? I don't know. Why do you ask? I was wondering if Mom's mom ever yelled at her about making comics. Grace told me her mom had yelled at her, but she never told me about what. But listen, Badham, your mom worries about you not being able to fly. She knows how important flying is to me, and when you were born, she saw you had wings. She knew flying would be just as important to you, and she was concerned about how to take care of you properly. Sure, her yelling at you was a little much. You still shouldn't have been in that empty house alone. Did your parents get angry at you because you flew somewhere where you shouldn't? They didn't have to. I saw how my parents reacted to my siblings when they did bad things, and I was afraid to repeat their mistakes. Do you think Mom's in her studio right now? I wouldn't be surprised if she'd been listening to us this entire time, making sure you're okay. How did he know? I'm happy you're safe and your wings are okay. Grace feels the same. It doesn't sound like it. Tomorrow you can talk with her about it. She won't be as angry then. Why not now? No one sleeps well when they go to bed angry. You actually fall asleep when you feel better. Do you feel better? What if I find someone who likes Rhinestone Hamster Outlaw just as much as I do before I go to the Comic-Con? Then you have someone to go to the Comic-Con with, and you both can meet Salvo in person. Quack, quack. Another problem with having wings is how to sleep comfortably. Another problem is constant exercise. If you want to always fly, you have to exercise! Mom doesn't have any wings, and yet she's buff. Then again, people in general have muscles. Our hero awaits. The suspense is traumatizing. Is that the right word? Where's the comic? What happened to the sign? How do they expect us to build? Ah, that's what it's for. It should only take 2 months. Who's that? Shay. And she'll
Next week. Got it. Beep. You can stop hiding, Batham. How did you know I was here? First, you told me you were there. Second, my intuition told me you were there. Where do you think you're going? I saw a van across the street at the old house. I think someone in the van changed the for sale sign, because the for sale sign looks different. It's probably a sold sticker. A sold sticker? Let's cross the street. I'll show you. You landed a little close to the sign. I thought I was going to land further back. If it was a very windy day, you'd land where you took off. Wouldn't a windy day push me off my feet because of the surplus air of my wings? I think you mean surface area, not surplus air. Oops. Mom! You're so strong you broke the sign! Batham, look at this. There are hooks on this post. These rings on the top of the sign are supposed to hook onto the hooks. That's why they're called hooks. Boop! Yes, you have tiny hands. Will my hands be as big as your hands when I'm an adult? Maybe not. When I was your age, I was taller and fatter than you are now. Your hands could be a little smaller than mine are when you're old like me. You were right about the sold sticker. That means somebody bought this house, right? That's right. For the first time ever, someone will live here. This house only had one person living in it. Who was that? She was a famous artist, and her name was Belle Frieze. Belle Frieze? That was her fake name. Her names are spelt like this. Her first name isn't spelt like this. As in doorbells and holiday bells? Exactly. It's spelled Belle, which means beautiful. Her last name, Frieze, has nothing to do with ice. Although she did make ice sculptures that were cool. I just made a pun and I almost missed it. Anyway, way before I was born, people made tall buildings made of stone, and this part of those buildings were called a frieze. That skinny rectangle under the big triangle? That's just a small picture that sort of resembles it. That skinny rectangle is actually made of square stones this big. Eep! I don't think even I can lift them. Each of those stones has a picture on it. The frieze seems kind of like a comic, except it's made of big rocks with pictures. You're right. Ahem. Did Belle Frieze make comics? No. Belle was a great artist, but she was not a very good storyteller. Her last few projects, before she died, were a few game apps. She had to work with a storyteller and a programmer to make that happen. You mean apps like the one Dad always plays? Yes. I'm not sure your dad knows of Frieze's apps. But some of those apps have frozen. Dad says they're glitches. It looks like they're getting along. That's good. Not now. Why at all? Mom, what just happened? I think what happened was R squared. Is that the weird thing that happens that you adults keep talking about? It seems like it. I can't think of whatever else this could be. What's that over there? A bunch of hoops and poles? What for? Maybe we have to jump through them? That's odd. Why would we have to do that? What do you think you're doing? I can see the hoops and poles don't go on forever. It looks like they end way over there. So there's an end to it. Yep. Now what? Give me a minute. I want to see how far I can fly. Eh? Did you just hit an invisible wall? I did. Safety first, right? How would you know there'd be an invisible wall there? I didn't. It's just when you adults keep talking about R squared, it makes it sound like you guys got pulled into a video game or movie where weird things happen. Huh, you're right. Unlike a video game, maybe we're supposed to go through the hoops. Is that how R squared works? I don't know for sure, but that's what other people make it sound like. Everyone experiences this at least twice in their lives, and this is my very first time. It really is? I'll step through the hoops and you hold my book. That works. I want to see if I can fly over them. I can't fly any further unless you keep going. If you want to fly the whole time. Good exercise. Yep. I want to check something. Mom, what did you do? I tried going around the pole. That didn't happen when you went around the first one. Maybe there's a pattern. I went left around the first pole. Maybe I have to go right around this pole. I've seen there were a lot of hoops and poles in the distance, and that's a lot for you to jump through and weave around. That only means we can get through this faster if I run, but you have to fly behind me, not in front of me. That way, you can avoid crashing into an invisible wall. And don't drop my book. Just say when. When? Yay! But we're still here. Uh-oh. That's scary. What did you mean by uh-oh? You said R squared is something like a video game. So? Video games have boss fights, don't they? Boss fight! Beaver Dam. I'm telling Dad. Pooh. This is a boss fight, and I have to fight him. Hence, boss fight. I thought she'd be better at this in real life than she is in video games. Don't telegraph your next move! I think my belt buckle broke. Poof. You kicked his beaver tail! We're still here. Batham, check it. More hoops and poles. I can't jump that high. I think that's for me. Let me see. You're probably right. I can't move past this. I can carry my book so you can focus. Good job. I did it without crashing! If there's gonna be another boss fight, do I have to fight him? Hopefully you don't have to. Ring! I didn't even get to finish my sentence. Speak of the handsome devil. Mom, that is not a devil. That is a caribou. It's a figure of speech, girl. Is that possible for real? Did she just do that? I am pointing Rottweilers! Poof. Yay! You flew over his head, and you flipped him over your head by his antlers! Wow! We're still here. I was afraid of that. Is the back of your head okay? It is. I've been practicing how to fall without hurting myself. Just like in karate class. Where are you going? This way to see if there's anything. Let me know when you get there. I found anything. That was fast. It's more hoops and poles yet again. How did you do that? I'll tell you when we get home. These hoops look a lot smaller. I don't think I can fly through those hoops. I'm not jumping through them. I'd get so exhausted I'd lose concentration. Maybe you don't have to jump. Elaborate. The hoops could be targets that you punch through or kick through, but you still have to weave around the poles. That makes sense. I'll try it, and if it works, you follow me. Yes, ma'am. Hooray! You did it again! I wonder what the next boss will be. He better be easier than the first two because I'm getting a little tired. The boss is a bird, and not just any bird. It's a loon without wings. Without wings, this'll be easier. First punch! Poof. Ah. So much for the rule of 3, unless this is the last boss fight. It takes 6 consecutive strikes from me to win against each of these bosses. If this is the last boss fight, then we should not find any more hoops or poles. Unless this is the second last boss fight. In that case, that means you have to fly again. Or run. Whatever we find out. I could fly through, except I'd be too close to the ground, so I think it's just safer for me if I run for it. You only put your wing through the hoop. Let me see if I can move forward. Yep, I can't go any further. That means you have to lead the way. This better be the last. Thank you. I don't see the boss just yet. I hope he does not show up and this is the end. Wishful thinking. It's a bare-knuckle brawl! You got this? You are full on offense, and that's annoying me. Poof. It's never this suffocating in video games. Please let this be the end of it. Did you say you had to hit those guys 6 times before you won? We're home? But weren't we on the sidewalk beside the for sale sign? Like on the other side of the street? Then R squared was a weird, complex way of crossing the road, wasn't it? Dad saw us before R squared happened, right? We were waving at him and he must have seen us disappear. He's probably looking around for us. Is it normal for people to reappear somewhere else than from where they disappeared? I heard that's how it normally works. Except this far, I thought it was more like a meter, or smaller than that. Like a centimeter. Well, this is a meter, plus a few more meters. You think you're so smart, because you are. Give me my book so it's easier for you to fly up and find your dad. Oh! Batham! Hi, Dad! Where's your mother? She's back at the house. Our house, not the one across the street. I was hoping this would never happen to you, or your mother. I know you said you were bored, except R squared is the wrong way to take care of your boredom. But I know it can't be helped. It just happens anytime to anyone. No one's prepared for it. Did R squared ever happen to you? No, but some people who have lived through it, they change in the worst ways. Batham and I are tired. Other than that, we're okay. You should have seen Mom! I did. I saw you and her disappear. No, I mean what she did in R². She beat up 4 bosses. Bosses? Like boss fights? And she thought the bosses were cute at first. Is there something you want to tell me, woman? They meant nothing to me, babe. Don't you babe me, Strawhouse. She was just like Rhinestone in Box Cake Ring. I think I need a shower after all that. This is the first time Batham and I experienced this mess. Only one more time, and it will never happen again. Because R² happens twice in everyone's life, right? Hopefully just twice for all 3 of us. Wait a minute, is it really called R², or is that slang for something? Good guess. It's slang for reality rift.